Hello again, this is Bob Johnson from How to Do Stand-Up Comedy. Today we're going to talk about the funniest comedians of all time. Let me start this video by explaining right here and now that I'm of the opinion, anyway, there's absolutely nothing better than a night of comedy. There's nothing that soothes the soul and calms the troubled waters of existence, however briefly, than a decent belly laugh delivered by a funny comedian. Regardless of whether on video, television, or perhaps at a live concert, a humorous comedian will constantly work their craft, bring us to tears, and remind us that life does not need to permanently suck. And when it comes to picking a funny comedian act, my inclination is to reach back in time for a measure of vintage humor. To be perfectly honest, I favor those entertaining comedians of yore who transcended race, gender, and age. These experts of the genre regularly provided their personal type of amusement, that laugh out loud, help I can't breathe type of enjoyment that has stood the test of time. Alrighty then, here are my choices for the 6 best comedians of all time. The first comedian on my list is Jack Benny. Benny is considered to be the godfather of the genre. He was well known for his comic timing and his capability to get laughter from a pregnant pause or a single expression, such as his exasperated, "Well." His shows on radio and television were tremendously well liked from the 1930s and even into the 60s. And they have been a foundational impact on comedians of the next generation. Funny comedian number 2 is Jonathan Winters. Winters got his start as a guest star on Arthur Godfrey's, Jack Paar's, and Steve Allen's shows. Afterwards, he'd make his mark with Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show. His comic style worked flawlessly in television, films, books, stemming from the peculiar characters he developed through his personal creativity. Although he's now getting on in years, at least at this writing, he's still alive, his videos continuously prove to be well liked on YouTube. Through the magic of technology, a fresh generation of enthusiasts are getting introduced to this funny man. The next comedian on my list is Bob Hope. Now, Bob was an American humor star all through the 20th century. He starred in vaudeville at the very beginning of the century and later moved on to Broadway and eventually conquered radio, TV, and movies. Nevertheless, he may be most well known for his constant work on behalf of the U.S. Armed Forces and his many USO trips. He physically entertained large numbers of American military personnel throughout his illustrious career. In 1996, the U.S. Congress honored Bob Hope by proclaiming him the first and only honorary veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces. Hope was genuinely an American hero, along with being one of America's most funny comedians. Even while dying, Bob Hope was ever the funny man. According to one of Hope's daughters, when questioned on his deathbed where he wanted to be buried, he told his wife, "Surprise me." The next comedian should require no introduction to fans of comedy. Bill Cosby, more than any other funny comedian, was and still is effective with all kinds of media. He discovered success while constantly containing a human perspective to his acts. Thinking about his humble origins and his years as a child growing up in the projects of Philadelphia, it's no surprise he provides a different style to his humor. He's adept at storytelling, TV shows, films, and also books. It was Cosby who broke the TV color barrier with his character on I Spy in the 1960s. Later on, he would become the very first and most successful black comic to star in and have virtually total control of his own show. His comedic style seems to make everyone chuckle, irrespective of skin color. It's safe to say that Phyllis Diller holds a unique place in the history of stand-up comedy. She's one of those uncommon ladies who can raise 5 children and still be able to make history in a man's world of stand-up comedy. She penned her own material and successfully presented it for over 40 years. It's impressive to realize that she was able to be humorous even while championing causes for children, cancer, and other philanthropic endeavors. As of this writing, she is still with us, although she has retired from public performances. I personally think that no list of the funniest comedians is complete without including George Carlin. George was born during the Great Depression and grew up during the hippie movement. This secondary school dropout never fit into the mainstream. His style of dress and shows constantly defied the norm, and he originally experienced significant challenges because of it. His famous 7 words you can never say on TV and his appearance as the first guest of Saturday Night Live marked him as an unpredictable comic and started a long line of firsts for this man of talent. He was awarded the Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize in 2008, just 1 week prior to his passing. He was the first comic, or any celebrity for that matter, to acquire this honor posthumously. In the interest of time, I left off a number of funny comedians off of this list. Names such as Red Skelton, Joan Rivers, and Lenny Bruce immediately come to mind as candidates worthy of inclusion on any list of funny comedians. Well, that's it for now. This is Bob from How to Do Stand-Up Comedy, asking you one last question is, what do you think? Who would you rank as the top funny comedians in history? I'd like to invite you to our website. Please click the link down below for immediate access, where we have literally hundreds of videos and articles pertaining to the world of comedy. In addition, elsewhere on this page, there's a link that will take you to a specific page where we discuss the funniest comedians of all time. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and bye for now.